Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to you all. A very happy new year. On behalf of International Institute of Hymnology, I welcome to all of you in the first edition of our new Human Conversation season. I am Javeria Asad, mechanical engineer, social entrepreneur, writer, journalist, community builder, Toastmaster, and student of optimism coaching offered by International Institute of Hymnology. I'm so excited and thrilled for moderating today's session. Ladies and gentlemen, Human Conversation is a monthly panel of experts organized by the International Institute of Hymnology to approach human topics from different perspectives and share views and opinions with our audience. And topics of today's session is very interesting. The true value of success. For me, success is not measured through high profit and loss balance sheet. Excuse me, or shelves full with numerous recognition shields or awards. It could mean a sense of accomplishment and career progression. It could mean being able to do anything you love. It could mean mean able to provide the best possible upbringing to your children. You can enjoy success in the small daily tasks, and you can also find it in great achievements. Success is something that you have to define for yourself. It's entirely up to you. This was my opinion, but let's hear from our inspiring, knowledgeable, and successful panelists. What's their point of view? Today we have amazing guests today. Mr. Adam Elhaj, expert in circular economy and rural development activist working on the rights of refugees from Netherlands. Mr. Hamza Taki, team coach, master of performance, consultant, and talent developer from Kuwait. And none other than Jessica J. Lockhart, hymnologist, author, and international speaker from Switzerland. In the first half, we will discuss about the topic, and in the second half, we would have panel discussion. So now, without wasting more time, let me invite our first guest. But before I invite him formally, let me share his profound profile. Mr. Hamza Taki. Hamza is a master performance consultant, a team coach, a contributing author, and a chartered marketer. Throughout his 30 years work journey in banking, telecom, and talent development, he found his life purpose through the marketing mix, which led him to specialize in the people development industry. As a chief excitement officer for Knowledge Consulting Co. since 2008, Hamza has been touching lives to transform organizations and individuals. He is committed to developing and growing people. Thank you so much, Mr. Hamza, for joining the session. For the next 15 years, the stage is yours.
Thank you. 15 years, you said?
15 minutes.
Oh, only 15 minutes. I was going to be speaking
for
for
like
15 years.
15 years.
Okay. Thank you so much, Javeria, for your introduction, Jessica, and the International Humanology Institute for organizing this monthly event. I'm very glad to be here with my colleague Adam to talk about the value of success. Of course, the word success itself is huge, and it's relative to different people. But for me, the value of success is reaching the Maslow, the top of the Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs, where you have reached your self-actualization. So some people value success in terms of money, the cars, the houses, the feeding the stomach, let's say. And other people find success from feeding their soul. So I believe the true value of success is when you reach the level of you start giving rather than taking. And that's because, we live our life always taking, like taking knowledge or taking food or taking, money or taking for ourselves. And we reach a stage where we notice that giving is more of instead of money, you equate it with value. Instead of status, you seek for respect, and you only achieve that from by giving and reaching in a way to service others, to service humanity. I believe so. That's my take on it. You want me to elaborate more? I can do more.
Yeah, I had a question. What you have said so far. That what's the difference between the successful, being succeeding in life, and winning?
Wow, that's a tough question. Winning, I think. See, winning is an experience, is an event, and it goes. And you need to win in your journey toward your success, or toward your goal, or toward your dream. You need small wins to get you going, to get you being consistent, to be successful, because most people don't realize that they have to, when they fall, they have to get up again and try and try and try. And with that consistency, they become experts in what they do, or they can add value to other human being. And with that value, they achieve their success. So some people, they just want to reach the destination without enjoying the ride, without enjoying the trip toward that success. Even if you don't achieve the goal, you become different person taking the steps toward that goal. And that's by itself, in my definition, it's success. So it really, it depends on how you see it, and it's relevant to each person in their let's say Maslow hierarchy of needs. For example, the basic needs for a human being in the first level is, when you're hungry, or when you're homeless and you get something to eat, or you get some shelter. Some people, donate something and they let you be their guest for a few days. That's for that person is winning. That's for that person is success. But after he got the shelter and he got the food, he wants to jump on to the other level.
Yes, you're right. If you want to be successful in your life, I think we should compete ourselves rather than others.
Absolutely. Competing to ourselves. Because in comparison, because see, God created us, each one of us has different, stamp.
Strengths.
Yes. And that's, since Adam and Eve, and nobody has the same. So that's by itself, it's like the Creator is telling us we are different, and we have to find out our own purpose and our own passion and pursue that to be successful. Sometimes we compare ourselves with others, and there's nothing wrong with comparing, but when you compare your worst skills, for example, with their best skills, that's that's no fair. You're comparing yourself with their top skills and with your lower skills. Look at your strength, look at what you have, and build from there, rather than and create your own persona, your own personality, your own brand. And that's how you reach success, rather than comparing and seeing the others. And I don't know where I heard that. It's like, the best way to achieve what, or the fastest way to achieve what others achieved, is to be happy, is to feel from inside happy for them, because they have achieved what they have achieved. And when you are genuinely happy for their achievement, God, Allah, the Creator, the universe gives you more than, rather than, you know, thinking of, oh, why me? And you start victimizing yourself, and you become a victim, and you say, why them? Why them? And instead of asking yourself a question is, how can I become better? How can I every day, day by day, become better than myself? And that's the winning that you said, Javeria.
Okay, thank you so much. We will get back to you, inshallah, in the panel discussion. Now moving towards our next guest, Mr. Adam Elhaj. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Adam Elhaj is the founder of Center of Entrepreneurship in Exile. Impact entrepreneurs have experience in livability, inclusion, and local change. Focus on supporting refugees' livelihood in hosting countries through sustainable agriculture, promoting peace building, climate change adaptation, and social impact. Welcome, Mr. Adam.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you, Javeria. Thank you very much. Yes, I am not a professional speaker, so I'm using slides. So I hope you have got my slides.
Sure, sure.
Good. So, however, I'm going to tell you today, I'm going to tell you about the a project that we have started here in the Netherlands. So basically, to what Javeria have said, I based here in the Netherlands, where I also work, and yeah, sometimes in and out. Yes, yes. Thank you, Javeria. Yeah, this is a project that we have started here in the Netherlands with some friends. And after a very short course of time, have got a result. And from there, I want to share some key elements that I myself consider as success factors. Next, please. So going through that, I will tell you about the project itself. I'm going also to share the element that I consider as a key values of success. And yes, I'm going to tell you about the project. So those are South Sudanese women fled their countries because of the ethnic war, and now they are living in Uganda as refugees. They are living in a settlement called Keriandongo with other 60,000 refugees from different countries in Africa, like Congo, like Burundi, like Kenya, and like Somalia. Those women and other refugees relying 100% on the food aid that provided by World Food Program. But during the pandemic, during the COVID-19 last 2 years, the WFP decided to slash back the rations of food by 40%. That decision left those women and refugees at large as a food insecure, sorry. And for us here as refugees, as immigrants, with some friends, we thought how we can do something toward this woman, because you know you're always connected with your people in back home. So we come together as a diaspora members with some Dutch friends, and we made some brainstorming how best we can respond to this this food insecurity and help this woman and their families and their children. Next, please. Yes, and this is the steps that we have been we went through. First of all, we asked the Uganda government to allocate the land, and successfully we have got a land. We are so happy at that time by getting that land. The second step, we organized a fundraising campaign here in the Netherlands, where the Dutch individual donated to our projects. We are so happy about that. And then we had like a budget of 15,000, a target budget. We didn't reach that. We reached like at least quarter of that budget, and we just decided to start. Some people said, look, we should wait until we get the whole budget, so then maybe we get in trouble, and maybe this will not be enough money for the women, because we do have like 20 women, and this kind of discussion. But eventually we decided to start. We bought equipment, we bring this equipment to the women, and we got started. And we formed a group, and some people also helped us to give training to these women in the ground. And luckily enough, also we do have like some network. You see the man here. This is Mr. Vardwine. He has a friend in Uganda, and his friend has a farm, and he's doing like a carbon agriculture, which is nowadays called regenerative agriculture. And that person helped us to train those women in how to adapt a sustainable way of farming. So that gone very well, and we are so happy with that. Next, please. Okay, those are the women, those are the activities. You see them. The photo that in the middle is during the campaign. We do have here in the Netherlands something called the Warme Trouwdag, which is this is like an event where Dutch people switching out the heater for at least one night, and by doing so they are trying to save some energy. And during that day, this is like annually day here in the Netherlands. During that day, we just make some campaign. We ask people to donate at the same day. So we have got also some attention, and we are so proud of that attention. Next, please. Yes. Now to the point of the session, the success, and I think for me, what made this project success is like 3 elements, and I want to reflect about that elements. First of all, we were honest with people that we approached. I was so honest to highlight the problem of those women, and I got those people. We started like this project started among sessions organized by impact leaders, and during the sessions I dropped these problems, and most of people like Pim, like Saskia, they picked it up and they own it, and this project become themselves. They become a part of the project. Next, please. Okay, the second success value, I think the network and how to maintain that network. So maintaining the network, I think is the most important things as a key elements of success. Next, please. And the last one, I think, to be patient, because being initiator of such project, you've got a lot of calls, a lot of argument, a lot of conflict, a lot of discussion. So you need to be patient to tackle this kind of challenges. Next, please. All right. I think in order to understand successful or the success of this project, you need to understand the challenges. So I think the garden itself, the concept of the garden was a unique idea. And therefore, we found some people to back it. So I think the most important thing for me is to find the backable idea. Next, please. And also the uniqueness. So we try to bring an idea that's unique, because nowadays the challenges of climate change is huge, and every single person in the globe should do something toward the climate change. So we come up with this idea so that we can help other people to adapt the sustainable way of farming. So we consider that as unique, and that's helped. Next, please. Okay, I think always you need to believe in what you're doing. I think believing in what you're doing is a crucial. Next, please. Yeah, and this is the result. After just 1 year, 20 women now have their own food. They can satisfy their own households, and they have surplus to sell. Thank you very much.
This is so inspiring that for you, success is not growing only individual level, but you're empowering the whole community, and especially you're empowering the woman. This is amazing. So this is a real success, that you see and appreciate other people to grow along with you.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so after this inspiring presentation and a true definition of success for me, let's move on to our third guest tonight. It's none other than the director of International Institute of Hymnology. But before I invite her, let's share her amazing profile with you guys. Jessica J. Lockhart created hymnology based on the theoretical, academic, and personal knowledge she had accumulated. Linguist, coach, teacher, mentor, international speaker, and author of several books. The Optimism You, What Story Do You Tell Yourself, Coaching for You, and Caribou. Lockhart directs the International Institute of Hymnology with the twin seats in Switzerland and Panama, and continues developing and propagating this new discipline all around the world. Creator and developer of hymnology, optimism coaching, personal lessons, absolute forgiveness, social mass, and time boxes, to mention but a few. Her discoveries and breakthroughs are opening new avenues of research and knowledge, and helping human beings understand themselves and the world around them better. So, Jessica, I'm sure that you are going to define the success under the banner of hymnology.
I am sure going to do that. Thank you so much, Javeria. I'm so happy. I'm thrilled to be here in Human Conversations again, resuming this panel of experts that we used to hold every month, and that we are going to continue holding starting 2023. And as you can see, we couldn't have had a better start than the one we're having today, with such wonderful speakers and experiences that we're hearing from different corners of the world. You know me, I am a teacher at heart, and I'm always teaching. And that's why maybe my presentation is going to be a little bit more educational, a little bit more humanological, but I hope it helps you. I hope it also inspires you and somehow gives you something that you can build on. I will also share my screen. I prepared a set of slides. Let's see if you can see them. And I will be talking about the true value of success from their point of view of hymnology, which happens to coincide quite a lot with some of the things that were already shared by our previous speakers, including our conductor, Javeria herself. Because the first thing that I would like to say about the true value of success is that there are many definitions for success. Wherever you look, people have their own definition. According to Merriam-Webster, the famous dictionary, success is a degree or measure of succeeding, is a favorable or desired outcome, or is the attainment of wealth, favor, or eminence. To many, reaching success means reaching goals. To others, reaching success means being perceived by others as successful. And even to some, reaching success means economic wealth or power. But I think that success isn't always that. I believe that success has a meaning that is different, as was already said by Javeria and also by Hamza, is different to each human being. A lot of people tend to mix two concepts, leadership and success. And whenever they talk about someone successful, they're talking about leaders or people who command others. We live in a society that trains our children to be competitive from almost moment one, almost as soon as they are born. We tell them that they have to compete and be the best at whatever it is that they do. And that is the definition of success that we convey. Maybe we don't teach it as such. We don't tell them, if you want to be successful, you have to win and maybe we don't say it in those words, but we do convey it in the way we treat and educate our children. So in most societies in the world today, being successful means reaching a certain status or a certain level, economic level, power level, societal level, a certain level of recognition by others. But success doesn't necessarily always mean that. Success is not always being number one or reaching specific goals or objectives set by yourself or set by others, because sometimes success is measured by how many goals you reach, but those goals are not established by you, but by others. For example, companies set goals for their employees, right? This is your target for this semester, for this quarter. You will be successful upon reaching that quota or that level. And that is how success is being defined in most companies. They set a set of goals for you to reach, and only upon reaching them are you deemed or considered successful. Others define success as being admired by third parties or having power over them. A successful person is the one who has the control of others, who has the power to get others to do as he or she wishes them to do. Well, I think that success is something that can only be defined by each human being. Success is a totally, utterly, absolute personal concept. And it can't be any other way, because whatever makes you feel successful is inside of you. It's in your beliefs, it's in your worldview, it's in the way you understand reality. To some people, success will mean therefore one thing. To others, it will mean something completely different. Let's talk about the women that Adam just presented in his presentation. These women who are great, successful businesswomen today because they managed to build a garden that's feeding not only their families, but it's also giving them some extra cash to do more things. That is a great success story. But if you compare that story to the story of, a Nobel laureate, you might see that the level of success is totally different. Success is also culturally based. Different cultures measure success from different points of view. In Asia, success is not the same as in Europe, and that's not exactly the same as in Africa. If we have to understand success, we therefore must ask ourselves what it is for us. Those of you who know me know that I am very multicultural. I was born in one country, raised in another one, and have lived in almost half the world already. I've lived in many countries, and I've been, of course, impacted by everything I lived and learned throughout my years. And that's why my understanding of success is probably very different from the understanding of success that any of you may have. So What I want to first propose here today is a way in which to help you define success for yourself. Sometimes you ask a person, so what is success to you? And they go like, well, I don't know, reaching goals or having money, but they don't really know what it means to them. So the first thing I'm going to invite you to do is to grab a pen, grab a notebook or a piece of paper, and ask yourself what success means to you. But in order to answer that question, I'm going to give you a little trick, a little exercise that you can do that might help you. I want you to finish a sentence for me. The sentence that you have on the slide. I know I am successful when, and I want you to finish that sentence for me. Some people might say, I know I am successful when I reach my goals. Fine. So you know there are goals that you set for yourself and you reach them. Others might say, I know I am successful when I feel a certain warmth inside. No one can define that but you. I know I am successful when I manage to publish 2 books a year. That is a personal goal that nobody else might share with you. So the question that I'm asking you here is, what needs to happen in your world? What needs to happen in your life so that you feel successful? So I invite you to take a few minutes, this pen and this piece of paper, and finish this sentence with as many endings as you can. I know that I am successful when. Once you complete the exercise, you will have a set of endings. You might have 3 endings, you might have 5 endings, you might have 10 endings. Well, those will be your rules for success. Let me explain the rules for success. Human beings have something that we call brain connections, okay? Brain connections are established in the human brain throughout our whole lives. And whenever a connection is made, there's a connection made in our brain, that connection becomes stronger every time we use it or every time we make it happen. So whenever you happen to experience one of those ends of sentences, one of those endings that you wrote, for example, I said, I feel successful when I have 2 books published in a year. So I have 2 books published, I feel successful. That is my brain connection. As soon as I have those two books published, my brain says, hey, you are successful. And it makes me feel good. I suddenly feel satisfied. I feel fulfilled. I feel happy. I feel joyful because my brain is telling me you are successful. So all those brain connections that we establish as we grow and as we develop are going to be like the triggers or the mental buttons we press when reality shows that and makes us feel successful. Then let me explain something else. If you only have 2 or 3 of those brain buttons or brain connections, the likelihood of you feeling successful is very small. Because how often is reality going to show you those things that you identified as your successful rules? Very rarely, right? How many times a year am I going to publish 2 books? Once, maybe? Once every 2 years? If that is my only rule for success, I will only feel successful very rarely. But if I help myself to understanding new rules for success, if I suddenly say, hey, wait a minute, I'm only successful when I publish 2 books a year, I'm also successful when I manage to read 6 books a month, because that is going to contribute to my writing 2 books later. I know I am successful when I read 6 books in a month. And I'm going to start using as a new brain connector. And every time I read 6 books, my brain will start reacting and telling me, hey, succeeded, you're successful. And I will feel good about myself again. So the first thing that we need to do in order to find the true value of success is create enough rules for success for ourselves. We need to identify those rules and remember that the rules for success are not limited just to the professional world. It's like Javeria said, one person can feel successful in many fields in life. You can feel successful just by baking the perfect cake for your husband's birthday, because you tried and tried and tried and never managed until you did today, and it was fantastically good. Success! That is one of the reasons with which you're going to feel successful. So don't forget that there are many different areas in your life in which you can feel successful, and that you have to define those rules for success for each of those areas. Give yourself the opportunity to feel successful as often as possible in life. Am I telling you to fool yourself? No. I'm telling you to make the conscious effort of discovering what it is that truly, deeply makes you feel like you're succeeding. Okay? In order to really actually achieve those successful moments, you will need at least 3 things. You will need optimism, you will need perseverance, and you will need a well-defined roadmap. What field the success you're trying to reach is in doesn't actually matter. You know, baking the perfect cake, you will need optimism, perseverance, and a well-defined roadmap. Helping others create a perfect vegetable garden in Uganda, you will still need optimism, perseverance, and a well-defined roadmap. Helping a businessman really feel successful at work, well, that person will still need the 3 things: optimism, perseverance, and a well-defined roadmap. Let me devote a few minutes to each of these concepts, okay? When we are talking about optimism, you know that in humanology, optimism is a very specific concept. It's not just being happy all the time or looking at life with a very rosy look. No. In reality, optimism is a mixture of resilience and hope. Being resilient is fantastic. Everybody wants to be resilient today. But in humanology, we say that being resilient is just not enough. A resilient person is the person who bumps and falls and then gets up again. Okay, I got up again, so now what? I'm back where I was before I fell. That's not enough, is it? No, we need something else. We need to continue moving forward. We don't need to just stand up. We need to advance and progress. That's why we need hope. We need resilience and hope, looking into the future, having a drive that will push us forward. And to do that, we need that capacity that optimism gives us as human beings. When a child is born, the child is naturally optimistic. Without any very, very severe trauma, all children are optimistic upon birth. They'll wake up in the morning expecting the best of life. They fall and they get up again and they continue. Or have you not noticed that every child without a physical impediment, any normal, healthy child, does learn to walk, even if they fall 100,000 times? They get up again, resilience, but they try to walk again, hope. Thus, they never give up. And that is one of the key elements of optimism in humanology. And the last but very important aspect of optimism is that it's grounded on reality. Being an optimist is not finding everything positive. That's being an idiot. I mean, come on. Being an optimist is really checking your surroundings, understanding what is going on, and then taking the step forward. Our real optimism is profoundly grounded on reality. If you want to be successful, you therefore need optimism, and optimism understood the way I just explained it. You need to be resilient to fall, but get up again with hope that is moving forward, to never give up. You know, sometimes you might find a wall that you can't climb. Well, look for a way around it. Look for a way under it. Find another way to overcome your obstacles. But, as I said, grounded on reality. Don't start scheming how you're going to create this space shuttle to fly over the wall and get to the other side. No, just find a way in which you can actually overcome that obstacle. As I said, we need optimism, but optimism is nothing if we just have an optimism that vanishes after 5 minutes, right? Children are generally optimistic, we said, and they're optimistic today and tomorrow and the day after. They don't learn to walk in just one try. They try day after day after day after day. And that is the second very important element in being successful: perseverance. We don't have to give up, we already said. But in order to be perseverance, we also need a few traits. The first one is passion. Yes. Passion, we say in humanology, is the fuel of human beings. It's what feeds us and gives us our push, our capacity to move. When you're passionless, you can't really do anything, can you? But if you're passionate about something, like I am now, you see me talking here really passionately about this topic, then there's a surplus of energy. You never run out of it. When you're passionate about something, you really go places. So ask yourself again, I know I am passionate when, and find your rules for passion. Passion is basic in human life. We need it to drive us forward. And that's why we have to have that passion. Sometimes we're told to control our passions because being passionate is not socially acceptable. Allow me to disagree. Without that passion, humankind would have never evolved. Can you imagine Albert Einstein not being passionate about his studies? Can you imagine Leonardo da Vinci not being passionate about his designs? No way. Passion drives us. At the same time, we need passion and drive, but we also need to be flexible and creative. If we're passionate and we drive forward, and we are not flexible, we might clash against the wall, because we sometimes have to bend and twist and turn to adapt to what reality is putting in front of us. Corona taught us that very clearly. We need to be flexible and adapt to whatever the world brings us. And in order to do that, we have to be creative. We have to let our imagination go wild once in a while. We need to allow ourselves to adapt to that project that we're trying to pursue, but always with an open mind. If we have passion, drive, flexibility, and creativity, and we persevere, we will very likely succeed. The last of the 3 elements that I want to mention today as the key to being successful is having a very clear and powerful roadmap. We need to know where we're going, and we need to know how we're going to get there. We need a GPS, we need a satellite system to help us. In order to create a good roadmap, we need to have very clear objectives. Okay, what is it that I want to reach? What is my objective? And objectives are usually big things. I want to make $1 million. I want to write 3 books. Those are big objectives. To make a roadmap easy to travel, we have to subdivide those objectives into smaller goals, and we have to work on each goal. The goals will be like the middle objectives onto reaching the big, huge objective. The goals are, for example, time-based. The goals can be resource-based. They can be based on whatever it is that we need to reach those goals, or they can also be theme-based. Sometimes we organize goals depending on what it is that they're targeting. This is going to be my economic goal. This is going to be my physical goal. This is going to be my social goal. And we organize different goals according to topics. Once we have the objectives, the goals, we take each of those goals and we subdivide them into steps. What are the steps that I need to take in order to reach my goal? And we have to define those steps very clearly. Well, I need to do number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Once we know the steps that we need to take, we will identify what possible obstacles we're going to be facing on that journey that we're starting on, and what resources we have to overcome those obstacles with, and what resources we don't have, what resources we need. And we will ask ourselves, how can I get those resources? So as you can see in this very simple and fast description, we're going to make a roadmap that is going to guide us into reaching our goals and our objectives, and thus helping us be completely successful. Once you have a very detailed, well-planned roadmap with deadlines and steps and possible obstacles and the ways you're going to use to overcome those obstacles, you're on your way. You're really starting to go on your way and to progress, which is what's going to get you closer to your success. So whenever you want to really reach a successful objective or goal, you have to create a success plan. We have the 3 things that we need. We have optimism, perseverance, and a roadmap. So what am I going to do? Well, first, I'm going to define my success in every field. You know, the rules for success in every field in your life. Second, you're going to gather and strengthen your optimism. If you don't know how to do that, you can contact me and I will let you know how. Then you're going to design how you're going to persevere with the specific tools and techniques that we explained today. So how am I going to make sure that I don't give up? How am I going to make sure that I have enough passion and drive, that I'm flexible and creative? Fourth, you're going to draw your roadmap and start your journey. Wait, we're not done yet? You thought we were done with the roadmap, right? No, we're not. There's a 5th step, and this one's a very important one too. Every month, you need to take some time to sit down and reflect and revise and review. Am I making progress in my roadmap? Do I have the optimism and the perseverance that I need? Or am I lacking or lagging in any way? Every month, you have to stop, check, revise, verify, and correct. And if you suddenly discover that you walked away from the plan that you had made, well, how can I go back to it? How can I return to my journey? And how can I be successful then? This is what I wanted to present today regarding the true value of success. I will be open for questions in a minute, but before I go, let me remind you that there are many other steps that you can take, and that there are many other fields in which you can work as human beings. Contact us if you really want to progress even more. If you don't want just to stay successful, but you also want to cover many other fields in your life, like conquering your fears, overcoming your stress or anxiety. If you want to master the art of public speaking, if you want to lead your integration in a new environment or culture or country, if you want to dominate change, or if you want to be in command of your emotions and your thoughts, because that is also part of being successful. All those tools and techniques are achievable, reachable, and handleable by you. So this is what I wanted to share with you in this very, very quick and short presentation. I'll be more than happy to take questions now. Thank you, Javeria. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me.
Thank you, Jessica, for amazing definition. Actually, so many definitions from different perspectives. Like you were giving the example of the good cake, and you mentioned that we should have a good roadmap, definitely. As it reminded me of, the saying by Professor Seligman, the optimism pioneer. He said that optimism requires logic. If you don't have a good baking recipe, you cannot make a good cake. If you don't have any roadmap for good farming, you will not get the good results. So it's not like that you're just, as you mentioned, that you're just sitting and not doing anything and acting like everything is like heaven around you. So you have to create heaven around you by yourself with a good, roadmap or strategies and methodologies. So thank you so much for all the guests for giving their definition of success as per their concepts and perceptions, because what I think that success has no deadlines. And we cannot like mention that, okay, after 1 year when I will finish my book, then I will be successful, then I will be happy. I mean, if I'm managed to able to, you know, for my kids to be on bed on time for the tomorrow's school, I'm successful. So success must match the rhythm of your soul, actually. And understanding success and your terms like doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and many acts of courage to uncover the deeper questions at the heart of your success journey. So now moving towards the second half of this panel discussion, and we have different questions. I will ask one question one by one to our prestigious guest, and we'll take the opinion. And if you are watching us through YouTube by International Institute of Immunology, if you have any questions, you can ask. We are online, and we have shared the links on our different social media handles. Okay, now, so moving towards our first question. Excuse me. Okay, my first question is that what are, in your opinion, the key element of success? Although you guys have covered many areas, but be specific, just crust of your this definition of success, that what are, in your opinion, the key element of success? So I will go back first to our excited Mr. Hamza.
Thank you very much. I wanted to comment on what Adam had said and what Jessica has shared. Beautiful stories. But I will go to answer your questions, and then maybe we have another chance to comment. Setting goals is very important, and as Jessica mentioned, having a goal, a clear goal, is a recipe for being successful. And then having a goal and then taking action, working on that goal, which Jessica stated in the roadmap, and how to put the goal into steps, actionable steps. And a third is being consistent. You will find some challenges, and these challenges are there to equip you to be stronger and to reach your goal. Being disciplined and utilizing your time, and because we all have the same time, we all have the same 24 hours, but what energy do we bring into that time that we have? And the passion that my friend stated, that brings you to the energy and to say, no, I'm going to stay disciplined and write that book, even if it's 1 page each day. To be successful, there must be some sacrifices, in the way of delaying fun activity. It's like, I can have fun later. Let me do the work first and then have fun. Sometimes comes the weekend, we want to jump into having fun and we forget about what we are supposed to do and what we are supposed to accomplish in our goals. And then never quit attitude. Although, being flexible, like my friend Adams, when he didn't get the total budget, he worked with whatever he had, and that was awesome. Being flexible, having a clear purpose, that what gives you the energy, and then take risk. I think that what makes a successful person. That's the recipe for success. Thank you.
Wow, I think you have added all the ingredients for this in this recipe: the roadmap, the consistency, discipline, sacrifices, and of course, not a good attitude. Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, the same question to Adam. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you, Hamza. Thank you also, Jessica, for the wonderful presentation. And once again, thank you, Javeria. It is a very difficult question, of course, but I try to answer it. I think the key element of success for me is a combination of personal skills and capacity. And I think I could call it be open-minded, in the sense that being able to manage a difference. And this is the very big challenges that I have had throughout this project. Differences in the way of different attitude, you come across different attitude, different beliefs, different priorities. And those people with these attitudes holding you down, and they don't want to give up their beliefs. They won't give up their tradition, what they believe in, their priorities. You have just stated your children. So when it comes to your children going to the bed at time, so you won't give that up. So, but still you have to manage some other things. So I think managing differences is the most, being able to manage differences is the most key element of success. If you are able to do that, I think you will head further in your goal. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, you mean time management, or you multitasking. It's like, for example, I put my dinner for my kids on my table, and then I come upstairs to conduct this session. So I was prepared for the day that till when I have to complete my house chores and daily routine chores, and then I have to conduct this session. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, Jessica, I know your last slide actually already answered the question, but okay, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I totally agree with what both of them said, Javeria, totally. But I would like to add, if I may, two more characteristics, two more traits that I think are really key whenever we talk about being successful. The first one is having faith in yourself. You have to have faith in yourself. If you doubt yourself, you're going to stumble. You're not going to really make progress, and you're going to question every step you take, and that's going to slow you down, and it's going to make it so much harder. So you have to have faith in yourself. And sometimes having faith in ourselves is the hardest part of it. And that's why having faith in ourselves is somehow related to the second thing I wanted to add that I think is really fundamental, which is asking for help. We need to learn to ask for help from other people. We need to learn to collaborate more. Sometimes we feel like we can't reach whatever we have set ourselves as goals because we don't have faith in ourselves, and we neglect to ask others to help us so we can restore our faith in ourselves. And that collaboration and that asking for help from others is not only related to having faith in ourselves, but to everything else. If I am trying to reach the goal, using the same example I used before of writing 2 whole books, and I happen to get sick because my back starts giving me trouble again, and I can't really type in the computer, I might have to ask somebody to take dictation from me and maybe type it in for me. Is it going to be less my book because I don't actually type it? No. Do I have to stop my whole project because I happen to be in bed because my back is giving me trouble? Not necessarily. If I'm in bed for 2 days, I might not ask for help. But if I'm in bed for 2 months, like has happened to me before, I might want to ask for help. So everyone listening to us today, you want to be successful? Apart from everything else that Hamza and Adam said, do have faith in yourselves and do ask for help, okay? Because there's nothing wrong in asking for help in any aspect in your lives. That's what I wanted to add, Javeria.
Yes, you're exactly right. Self-worth is very important. That if nobody can do it, I have to do it. This is an attitude actually. And collaboration, definitely, it is very important. And as you last mentioned point, that make friendly environment. I mean, you're not Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. Please ask for help if you don't know anything.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
being vulnerable is very important. Yeah, and asking for help is really a good leadership trait, to be humble and to show to your subordinate, to your team, that it's okay to ask for help.
Yes, I
Yes,
I
learning is
also,
always there. When you're asking some help from other people, that means you're on for learning. I mean, your for learning process is continuous actually. Okay, now moving to one of our second questions. Okay. Oh, this is a very interesting question actually, because we are currently working on the friends of success. Now we have to find out what are the worst enemies of success and how can they be defeated. What are the things, what are the elements which usually ignore when and when we face failure, then we think of what happened, wrong. So what are the basic elements I think we should avoid on the road of success? So starting from Adam, please unmute yourself.
yeah, to avoid the element that need to be avoided, right?
Yeah, what are the enemies basically if you
I
think
think
that which are
hesitant.
the big hindrances on the
I
road
think
of
hesitant.
success?
I think hesitant. You have to believe in what you are doing. I think that's the crucial, and I totally agree with Jessica when she said like we need to have faith in ourselves. If you don't believe it yourself, if you don't believe in it yourself, nobody will believe it. So you need to
Exactly.
believe it. You need to stop, be hesitant about what you are doing. You show your commitment, your discipline, you believe. I think that's the most important things. And they're saying if your belief is strong enough, everything is possible.
Self-belief, yes. Yes, Mr. Hamza, what do you say? I think you already mentioned in the first question that never give up attitude, never quit, I think. But if you want to
Yeah,
elaborate it.
yeah. Basically, see, I believe that basic obstacle or hindrance for success is ourselves, is our mind, the mindset that we put for ourselves, how we think of ourselves, our self-esteem, our self-image, our confidence. And that comes with being consistent, is not giving up, the resilience, the passion that Jessica and Adam spoke about, and perseverance, and falling and coming up, like Thomas Edison. His attitude is to fail 1,000 times to bring about a project, or when his laboratory went into fire. I mean, if I have a laboratory that I built or factory that goes into fire, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna say, why me? Why me? And this guy
Exactly.
just looked at the fire and he was like intrigued with the flames, and he asked his child or his kid to go and call his mommy so she doesn't miss this firework. What kind of attitude? That's a successful person. That's the right attitude you need. It's not like every single challenge you face, you start, thinking of giving up or being hopeless. That's the mindset. The mindset is crucial.
True, because failure is not a person, it's an event, and you can recreate it with more
Absolutely.
modifications.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you, Juliana.
yes, and we have to come out from our fixed mindset to the growth mindset actually. So this is as you mentioned. Okay, Jessica, what's your take on this?
Well, I would like to add again, because I agree with Adam and Hamza, but I would like to add a few of my own ideas to this.
The Jessica touch.
Yeah, the Jessica touch. Yeah, I think that there's a very, very big monster that we all face when we want to succeed. That monster is fear. Fear is a deal breaker in success. What if? The damn question, what if, that I hate, and you start asking yourselves, what if this happens, and then this happens, and then that, and what if this, and what if that? And we start overthinking. When we get into that process of overthinking the what ifs, when fear grabs us, we become paralyzed. We don't really make progress. And fear can be really damaging because we start questioning everything. So I would say that overthinking and fear, which are very much related, are one of the worst enemies against success. So I know that it's important to plan. I spoke about our roadmap myself, and I know it's important to somehow plan what possible obstacles you're going to be encountering on your journey, but fix a limit to your overthinking. You have to allow yourself a little time to plan, a little time to fear, but then close it. Don't overthink for too long, because you're going to get lost in your mind. And when you're lost in your mind, you're actually doing nothing. Because when you're thinking about what can go wrong, whatever is going to happen if I do this or if I do that, you're actually doing nothing. You're in your mind. And that's time you wasted, and you were not really productive. So overthinking is one of those negative elements, I'd say. The second one is procrastination. Oh, I'll do it later. Oh, I'll think about it later. Oh, I'll help. And instead of thinking about the future, we start leaving everything to the future, and we actually do nothing. So procrastination is one of those obstacles that we have to overcome. And if you're a procrastinator and you're listening to me, you know what I'm talking about. Putting things off and leaving them until later is another very, very big hurdle or obstacle. And the third one that I want to mention is giving other people too much power. I want to also mention a famous character here today. We've spoken about Albert Einstein, Edison. I want to talk about Walt Disney. Walt Disney is a great role model in being successful. He went bankrupt, I don't know how many times. He had this dream of building Disneyland in California that he prepared with the utmost detail. He went to, I don't know how many banks to ask for the money he needed to create Disneyland. And bank after bank after bank said no to him. But he didn't give up. He persevered. He didn't listen to the thousands of people that kept on telling him that he was crazy, that that was a stupid idea, that creating something like Disneyland was only a foolish idea. And he kept on going at it. He never listened too much to the people who told him that talking cartoon movies would never be successful. He never listened to the people who told him that making a long feature animation movie was stupid. He created Snow White, the first ever long feature movie that everybody loved and that affected humanity for generations. He broke all those barriers because he didn't listen to people too much. It's okay to listen a little, to get the good things, to learn from others, but don't give them too much power. As we said before, and Adam also repeated it, have faith in yourself. Believe in your dream. Believe in your capacities and what you're trying to do. And if there's something you don't have, ask for help. But don't give people too much power. So these are the three things that I wanted to add to the list that Adam and Hamza mentioned. The fear and overthinking, the procrastination, and giving others too much power. Javeria?
Wow, what a comprehensive reply, actually. Yes, and I was thinking that what you have mentioned, that don't think about people, like surround yourself with the positive people. It's very important. People who motivate you always, who say, yes, you can do it, right?
Yeah, but let me add one thing though, Javeria, okay? Sometimes we surround ourselves with people who motivate us, but we also surround ourselves with people pleasers, people who always tell us how good we are, how fantastic we are, how great we are, and that are not really critical of what we do. That just tell us what we want to hear, because that keeps the peace, that keeps the good mood and the good vibe. You need people who support you in a positively critical way. You need people who are honest. Yes. And tell you
criticize you,
yes,
criticize you, but with the suggestions, not like you're good, okay, help you grow, like. Yeah. And also we need to be a trendsetter. I mean, for example, sometimes people are not doing many things, we can do it. As you mentioned the example of the Walt Disney, he's a trendsetter. So okay, so we have time, Jessica, for the next question. So yes, we have a time. Okay, so okay, as you all mentioned that how we can achieve success, but how much it is important for all of us. what role do you think that success should play in a personal life? Okay, personal life, a person's life, and a person's life means professional life and the personal life. I mean, we always segregate success most of the time to the professional life, right? But I believe that person, a human being means personal and professional. So what do you think? What's the role of success? I think we have talked so much, but be precise about this question. Starting Hamza.
Thank you. With that question, I would imagine the wheel of balance. You know, to balance everything in life, like family and friends, they have a priority. Money, financial freedom, health is very important. Your health, your physical environment, where you are staying, where you live, your shelter. Fun and recreation, vacations, career, life purposes is very important. Spiritual alignment is important, and romance and intimacy. If you have that 10 aspects in a balanced way, then you are considered to be successful and as a personal success, because you're touching all the elements of your life, be it your family, your friends, your career, your spiritual needs, your physiques, and only that way you can do that. And this requires, like Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an action, it's a habit. So we need to get into that habit to be successful in that way. Thank you.
So enjoy your weekends also, right?
Definitely enjoy your weekends,
Yes.
enjoy your vacations, and one
Yes.
has to have a
It's a
pleasure
good
and
balance
fun in
between your
life.
personal
Fun,
life. Yes.
fun and happy and human.
Balanced life. Yes. Don't become a money maker or something. Robotic, mechanical approach towards life. Okay. Yes, Adam. What do you
Yes,
think? What's the role of
I
success?
totally agree with Hamza, and that's also my thought. To find a balance is very important, but I will add to that by try to do something every day for yourself, something special, and you decide. Go for a walk. You see, nowadays we are surrounded by screen time. We screen everywhere. So I think getting rid of screen time is also in itself something valuable. So I think doing something for yourself intentionally every single day and say, okay, go for coffee. This is for myself. Drink a coffee in a cafe, go for a walk, read some book, practice something, buy yourself a gift for yourself without any reason. You see, I think that's very important to reward yourself. That's what I want to share.
Wow, what a beautiful line. Reward yourself. And you have to, manage your me time. Very important. Celebrate your me time. Like I'm having right time a me time after a long, hectic day. Yes. Yes, Jessica.
Okay, so what role do I think success should play in a person's life? Well, I think that I answered the question with my presentation in a way. I think it depends on the person's point of view. If your rules for success are a certain way, the role success is going to play in your life is going to depend on those rules. So if your rules for success are really, really many, and you need to be really successful to feel happy about yourself, then it's going to play a very important role in your life, and you're going to have to commit to it. I think that there's nothing sadder than reaching your deathbed and feeling like you never succeeded. When you talk to doctors and nurses who are accompanying people in hospices or in their final moments in life, they say that it's heartbreaking to see the people who really feel sorry because they didn't do what they should have done in their lives or what they perceive should have been their purpose. So I think it's fundamental to also understand that in order to feel successful at the end of your life, you know, when you look back, you have to ask yourselves what your purpose is. It's important to have a purpose in life, one or many purposes, and that is related to the rules of success. You know, if writing 2 books a year makes you feel successful, you have a purpose every year. You have the purpose of writing 2 books. So helping yourself define the purpose or purposes in your life, I think is an important aspect, an important part of your human development. And that everybody should do that little exercise at least once a year to really feel like they're progressing and like they're really giving sense to their lives. And that will clearly determine the role that success is going to play in their lives, because the role that success will have in your life will depend on the role that you want to give it. And the only thing I want to add about that is that it is important for us human beings to take some time, stop, think about it, and understand it. We can't continue living blindly, just going and moving around and doing things without fully understanding where we're going and why we want to get there. If we walk blindly and we don't really want to get any place in particular, I just want to make money because everybody thinks that's important. I just want to have power because everybody's going to respect me. What does it make you feel inside? How do you feel when you go to bed at night? Is it really what you want to do? I think that as human beings, and after so many centuries of humankind, you know, we should already know that it's important to take the time to reflect and to decide what it is that we want for ourselves. Again, that definition is totally a personal concept. You have to decide for yourself and you have to pursue it for yourself. So what is the role that I think success should play in a person's life? The one that we each decide to give it. That's what I wanted to share.
Wonderful. That like be successful means like be meaningful at the same time. This is very important.
Yeah, because
You should
if success is meaningless, what is it for?
Yes.
Doesn't make sense.
Yes, I mean, if you're not doing any, what are you doing without any focus? What will be the end result? Then it's meaningless. Okay, so thank you so much for this profound and comprehensive discussion. I was thoroughly enjoying, and I was like, okay, oh, we are about to finish. So thank you so much for the wonderful discussion, meaningful discussion, I would say. And thank you so much. Actually, today I got to know that there is something excitement coach also. So I need to know that actually. So I will definitely take a number from from Jessica, and I want to know exactly because this is a new thing for me. And thank you so much, Adam. And this is great to see. You're doing a noble cause for many people. You're actually building a community. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Jessica, for having this amazing human conversation, for picking up the amazing topic about the success. And definitely, success definition is different from everybody. So inshallah, we will be back again in the next month, the same second Monday, right, of the month, second Monday of the month, and excuse me, and we would have a topic about the leadership. So we will be back with another amazing and knowledgeable panelist with us in the next session in a human conversation. So thank you so much once again. I'm signing out. This is Javeria. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful time with us. Bye-bye and take care.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.